Hey B&B, this is the Vez 2. I'm going to do another shaving video for you today. This one's going to be twofold. First thing, something that's kind of near and dear to me in the shaving world is Williams soap. So we're going to do a shave with modern Williams, and the other part is going to be talking about kind of a new, I don't want to say fad, but a new idea that's going around at Badger & Blade is using a DEvette, or a DE shavette, where you take the base plate either off of a razor or modify an old broken or an old cheap razor to modify the base plate so that it is shorter than the cap, which gets rid of the safety edge or the safety bar and leaves just the razor blade showing. So what I've got here is my Gillette 7 o'clock new. Obviously I'm not going to tamper with this base plate, but I'm just going to remove it. Now this base plate, or the cap rather, has little grooves on it that are going to hold the blade, and that's probably one of the most important things if you're going to do something like this, is to have something that is going to hold the blade in place. If you don't have that on your cap, then that might be a situation where you want to use a modified base plate. Another thing is you want to make sure that your handle is going to screw in enough to clench down on that blade to hold it tight. Some handles, especially modern handles, aren't threaded far enough in so that it actually won't make contact with that blade. You want to make sure the blade's in tight. So you can see I've got a Persona blade in there, and by looking at the cap you can see that just the blade is sticking out. So this is what I'm going to be using to shave today, and let's go ahead and get my Williams lather ready to go. So I got my brush that's been soaking. Got most of the water out of it. That's the way I like to start. Now if you've used Williams soap before, modern Williams, you know that it likes a lot of water. And the best way, if you haven't done this before, to start off with a new puck is to actually submerge it in water, let it soak for a day, at least overnight. And a lot of that water is going to be actually absorbed by the soap, and it's going to rehydrate it. You want it to be nice and hydrated before you start. If you start with a brand new puck, it's going to be very hard to get a good lather out of it. So I'm just going to take my puck and just do a little bit of loading with the puck on my palm. Since it's been soaking, all sides of this puck have been softened up, so I'm going to load for a while on one side. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to load on the other side to make sure I get all the good softened soap off the side. But once you've done that for a couple of days, if you're using it every single day, you shouldn't have to keep soaking it every single day. Eventually it'll get too soft. But if you soak it submerged for 2, maybe 3 days, it should be well hydrated enough to get all the shaves, get all the good lather rather that you want out of it. Now you can see I've got a whole bunch of lather built up in my brush, and a bunch of good thick lather on my hand. So I'm going to put the puck down right now. I'm going to transfer all this good lather onto my face. And then I'm going to start face lathering with my brush. If I need to add more soap, or more water rather, I will. You usually do need to add a little bit more, just because Williams does like to have a whole bunch of water. If you start with a well-hydrated puck, you won't need to add as much as if you start with a drier puck, but you definitely are going to add more water than you would a normal soap, or what you're probably used to if you haven't used Williams before. And the way I like to add soap, for me, I kind of open up the middle and then just grab some water with my fingertips and just drizzle it right in there. Let it soak in for a little bit, and then continue to face lather. Now, if you ever have try Williams soap and you get the disappearing lather effect, which a lot of people have, and that's their major complaint with Williams, it really just means you haven't used enough water. And if you try adding a little bit of water and then it gets too runny, then you really need to add a little bit more soap before you add more water. That's why if you soak the puck, it softens it up, and you're going to get enough soap that you're not going to have to worry about having to add soap. Usually just the culprit is more water though. So I've got this pretty well hydrated. Looks like it's going to be good for my shave. So I'll just kind of fluff it up a little bit here, build up my lather. B&B. Vestu again had a little bit of technical difficulties. Ran out of storage space on my phone, so I needed to delete some stuff to finish up this video. So this is part 2. Probably try to join the two together later. So I'm just going to freshen up this a little bit. You can see the lather didn't dissipate at all. I'm just evening it out. Now we're going to grab the DEvette, which you can see my base plate is still gone. You can see the blade in the razor. Now if you've used a Shavette, which is kind of where we get the name, a Shavette mixed with a DEvette, DEvette. If you've used a Shavette, then the blade feel on your face is really no different for using this. If you haven't ever used an open blade like a Shavette, then it might be a little intimidating at first, but really just using the principles of getting the right blade angle and using no pressure, it's really not that much different than using a regular DE with a safety razor or a safety bar installed. And I don't even need to do any skin stretching with this, except in a few areas. If you might have some loose skin or going around your jawline, or any place that you might think that you're going to snag yourself with the razor. But I'll just go ahead and start here. Now since there's no base plate in there, I don't know if it's coming through on the video, but you can really hear the feedback of the whiskers getting cut. Which is kind of one of the nice things if you're using a single edge razor. A lot of those offer a lot of feedback, especially the Gems and the Evereadys. As long as you've got a good technique with your double edge already, you've got some muscle memory built up, then really the shave is no different. You're pretty much holding it at the same angle you would have been holding it at with the safety bar installed. So if you're used to shaving, it's really no different. So you can see I'm not really going slow when I shave. This is pretty much the speed. I might be going a little bit faster with the safety bar, but I'm really not slowing down that much. Chin's always a tricky part, so you just save that for last. And already just on one pass, this is pretty smooth. I could just do a little bit of touch up on my jawline, that's my trickiest part. But I'm going to go ahead and do a nose to ear pass across the grain. That's what I normally do, a two-pass shave. I go with the grain and then across the grain. I gave up on going against the grain a long time ago, usually it just ended up irritating me a little bit more. And for the little bit of reduction that it gave me, it really wasn't worth the hassle or the time of doing another pass. So since my brush has been sitting out, I can tell that the lather has kind of dried up a little bit, so I'm going to add a little bit more water to this to build up my second pass lather. I don't need much though, it's pretty good. You see, no camera tricks, still got my blade in there without a base plate. So this time I'm going to go across the grain. I did have somebody ask me on the forums if this was a smooth shave. I think meaning the just the feel of the blade on your face. Since you don't have the safety bar, it does feel a little bit more harsh as you're using it. But like I said, if you're used to using a shavette, it's really no different. I'm probably going faster than most people would doing this, especially if you're trying it for the first time. No, it's pretty much a BBS shave right here. It's very smooth on the sides. Just my jawline is the only place where I kind of have to do a little bit more touch-up. So I'm just going to do a real quick swipe across my jawline and do another across the green pass, but this time going the other direction. That's how I always clean up that. So again, No camera tricks. You can see that I still got the blade in there with no base plate. Haven't been switching it out as I've been rinsing off my razor or anything like that. So there you go, my 2-pass plus a little touch-up with my DEvette. I'll rinse this off, and then I'll finish up my shaves the way I always do. First with some witch hazel. Store that in a barber's bottle. And then today we'll follow it up with some Bootlegger's Bay rum. This is a combination of Pinaud Virgin Island Bay rum, Superior 70, and Master Bay rum. And then I put that all together in a Cholula hot sauce bottle with a custom label that I created for it. So I've got a little bit of sting from the aftershave, but really it's no different from the sting I would get from any other shave. The Pinaud in there's providing some of that sting, but really it's not any different from any other shave. It's not, you know, I didn't tear out my skin because of the DEvette. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys what that. We've been talking about it on Badger and Blade for a while, and talking about it. I guess somebody found a razor for sale, and the base plate was shorter than the cap, and so there was no safety bar. And we've been discussing that razor, and then in turn we've been talking about modifying some of our old double-edged razors to get that effect. Now I do have one weeper that I thought it was going to seal itself up, but when I put the aftershave on it, it kind of aggravated a little bit and it opened up. But those happen every now and then. So there's my video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't used Williams shaving soap before, I gave you some good tips on how to get a good lather. You can see in my brush, you know, I've still got the lather hanging onto my brush. It's not dissipating, so as long as you get it nice and hydrated, it's going to be a good soap for you. And then the DEvette, you know, if you're feeling a little bit adventurous and you want to try a shave, honestly, it's the closest, smoothest shave that I've had in a very long time. I've been going through a rotation of a lot of razors, and this combination right here has gotten me the closest to a full BBS shave that I've had in a very, very long time. So it is, you do need to be careful, obviously. You know, having a safety bar in there, so you have to be very careful and cognizant of where the blade is in your face at all times, or you'll end up with a little bit of blood like I do. Not a big deal. And but if you are feeling a little bit quirky, then give it a try. Thanks.